native practitioner in Healthy Living Program. Welcome.
So welcome everybody. Like I said, we're talking about the sacral chakra. If you were here last week, then you'll get a mini refresher on what chakras are, and then we'll just dive right into it. So,
Okay, so let's do a little review. A chakra is a center of energy. So then the translation means wheel of disc of energy. We have 7 main chakras in our body, which are aligned through the base of the spine, through the crown of the head. When these chakras are open, closed, or balanced, you can have different effects physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
So that is the quick summary of it. If anyone has questions about that, you can always message and we'll answer. But this animation was supposed to be to ask you where it was, but it showed up anyway. It's fine. So the second chakra, the sacral chakra, is located between the pelvis and just on top of the belly button. So it's a little under the belly button, around that area. So your sacral chakra in the pelvic area, that's a great way to describe it, if I had just looked at the slide, is near the genitals, 3 inches below the navel. So you're like between that area there, right under the belly button. So this chakra, the element is water. Last week we spoke about the root chakra, and the root chakra basically had earth as the element. So now we're moving up and we are talking now about water. So this chakra has everything to do with fluidity, and that has a lot to do with your emotions, your sexuality, your self-gratification, emotional identity, and nature. So the symbol, as you can see here, is a lotus flower with 6 petals, and the color is orange, and that's why our slides are orange. They see the symbols orange, all of that good stuff. So how do you open and balance this chakra? So like I said, it has everything to do with your fluidity. So this has to do with your creativity, your relationships, desires, sensuality, and sexuality. So this is, I think I said it last week, this is like my favorite chakra because it's the one that you can like really go after and tap into with self-care. So it's like self-care central, basically. So you want to try to do things that make you feel creative, that tap into your sensuality and sexuality, and also just like take so much care of yourself. There's so many things you can do to help open and balance this chakra, but it has to do with your individual needs and desires at the end of the day. So it can be taking a long bath or shower with like essential oils and like really nice products, or you can just eat like your favorite dessert, like the lava cake from Domino's. Like that is the one for me. Like everyone has like their favorite dessert, or if you don't have a favorite dessert, there could be so many other things that get you in touch with things that are sensual. Getting creative as well is a really great way to do this. So when you feel a block in your creativity, which we'll talk about in a second, this has a lot to do with your sacral chakra. So tap into that creativity. Even if you don't think that you're an artistic or creative person, I promise you have something to offer to yourself and to this world that shows your creative expression.
Okay, when this chakra is unbalanced, so you can have like fear of pleasure, resistance to change, block in creativity, low back pain, urinary problems, and reproductive issues. So as Victoria said, it's very important to take care of ourselves. It's important to balance our energy all the time. It doesn't matter about your chakra, it's about you. So for this chakra, it's very important to bring us the ability to accept changes also, okay? So if you have to accept any change in your life, take it. If it's good or it's bad, don't worry. If it's bad, you learn about the bad thing, the bad experience, and you take the good part all the time.
So the stomach baula is actually the next chakra next week, and it's solar plexus. So we will get into that. So this one has everything to do with your genitalia and your reproductive organs, which I believe is, oh, we don't have it here, but yeah, the reproductive issues and reproductive organs.
Yes.
So if you are feeling a lack of sex drive, and that is not normal for you, that's your sacral chakra, right? If you are infertile and you're trying to have a baby, that's related to sacral chakra. If you are a person with a penis or male genitalia, then you might also experience other things like, oh my God, what's the word? I don't want to say it and it be bad. Oh, I can't think of it.
Okay, if she have any problem with like urinary problems, right?
Yeah.
Retention of water. This is the chakra that you need to work on too.
Right. So like when we think about hydration levels and like remember like when we always talk about like look at your pee to see like how hydrated you are and everything like that. That's why water in this is like related as well. What is it called? Erectile dysfunction. I got it. All right. When men or people with penises, Jesus Christ, are experiencing erectile dysfunction, sacral chakra. So think about that. You know what I mean? Yes, exactly. The women's menstrual cycle. Absolutely. So I always talk about this story, how last year when I did this workshop, this specific chakra, I was having so much low back pain. Like my lower back was killing me. It was horrible. And then I began my menstrual cycle like the day after. So I was just like blown away by how connected those things were for me. And again, it doesn't have to be related to just like what women experience too. Men will definitely experience a lot of these different deficiencies in their own way too. Yeah. Good questions. And yes, if you feel like you've had bad experiences with your menstrual cycle, pay attention, y'all. This is a good one.
Well, it's related to hormonal things. So yes. So what was her name?
Lauren.
Yes.
And yes, Liz, there's a check-in. I just sent it now. So, crystals and aromatherapy.
Okay, the crystal that are related with this chakra is the golden topaz, citrine, carnelian, and tiger eye. And remember, if you have any crystal or you buy any specific crystal, first you have to cleanse your crystal so you can put it with sea salt water for 24 hours and leave it there, and then you can recharge them in the sun or in the full moon.
Yes, sorry about that. I was just managing. I think some people might have not been able to get in before. So I wanted to make sure that they were getting in. All right. So for our aromatherapy for the sacral chakra, think about the citrus oils. So orange is going to be the most obvious one because the color of the chakra is orange. But you do have also other ones like myrrh and coriander. And the reason these two specifically are in here, coriander for the spice, so adding a little bit of spice to your life. But myrrh is a very spiritual oil that can also, it has like more citrusy properties as well. So think about citrus oils and how that can relate to your sacral chakra. So maybe taking a long bath with our de-stress blend that has orange in it could be a great way to tap into this chakra as well. We spoke briefly last week about how to use your crystals, but does anyone have any questions about how to use crystals? You can always put it in the chat and we can go over it again. We totally don't mind doing it. Just want to make sure. No?
No, I think no.
If you decide yes, then that's okay. We can go back to it. So healing food. Oh, yes, we have a yes. Sorry, we'll go over it really fast with crystals. So with using crystals, you want to make sure that you cleanse them properly beforehand. So this can look like putting them in salt water for 24 hours, or it can look like saging your crystals and then charge them under the sun all day, or it can be under a full moon. They can be by your window silver. They don't have to be directly in direct sunlight because you will still get it. Make sure your windows are clean though. That's going to be something that we always talk about, generally speaking, energetically in your home, is like making sure your windows are as clean as you can. If you can't go outside on a ladder, I understand, but just keep them as clean as you can. And then once you have cleansed and charged your crystals, you're going to go ahead and program them with your intention. So using your crystal to set an intention for it to work for you based on the sacral chakra. So if we are talking about taking a citrine crystal, it's going to be charged with the sun, the moon. It has the properties already to tap into the sacral chakra. So set an intention that has to do with what we just spoke about, with creativity, with sexuality, sensuality, improving any of your physical conditions as well, stuff like that. Anything you want to add, Carla, that I forgot?
No, and they can, if they want, well, I think if they don't find any carnelian or tiger eyes or any of those crystals, you can choose any crystal that you feel for it and put the intention the way that you say. And when you meditate, you can put it in the area where your sacral is located, or any place that you feel that you need that kind of energy. Or you can wear the crystal or have it in your purse, in your wallet. I don't know. That's the way that I use the crystals all the time.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okie dokie. So healing foods. So with healing foods, you want to go for anything orange. So this is the time in the chat that I tell you guys to go crazy with telling me all of the orange foods that are naturally occurring in nature. So go ahead and put in the chat all of the orange foods that you can think of. I don't know why there's a lemon in this photo. The lemon is totally yellow.
Well, you can visualize like an orange color in the lemon.
So we have carrot, orange, tangerine, papaya, mango, yummy, pumpkin and butternut squash, which, yes, we are in the fall, oranges and carrots. So peaches. Ooh, persimmon. That's a good one, Harini. I'm not sure if an almond would be considered orange per se, but I do think turmeric. So turmeric is naturally occurring, right? That orange, bright orange color. We use turmeric in things like curries, and it's super yummy. And you can also put turmeric in your smoothies as a supplement. I do that sometimes too. Kumquat, yes, we said peach.
Maybe cinnamon too, right? Because it's related to the earthy color and the...
Cinnamon, yes, and cinnamon is also very good for like anti-inflammatory and stuff like that. Yes, turmeric tea, super yummy. I love a good turmeric tea. I'd say for this, we stay away from processed foods when we talk about like naturally occurring and stuff. But I do think there are some cheeses that like the rind becomes orange naturally over time. So maybe. But we always talk about fruits and veggies when we talk about this, just because it's like the phyto, what's the word? Phytoplant. I'm forgetting all the words today, but like the colors that naturally occur in these fruits and veggies and stuff, they're grown from the seed. And yeah, same thing with turmeric, different spices. Yeah, I think everyone got all the things. Mango's probably my favorite one though. And
so today I had to eat orange food.
Orange food. I'm gonna make a mango smoothie after this.
Good.
All right, y'all. So we are at the journaling component of our workshop. So please grab a piece of paper, a journal, a notebook, a pen, and get ready to choose one or multiple prompts for your journaling session today. I'm going to read them out loud. So listen first and then decide which one or which ones you would like to journal about today. So we have, what do I value in my relationships? We ask this question for sacral chakra because, like we said, your relationships tap into your sacral chakra all the time. What emotion do I primarily feel? So most of the time, what emotion are you feeling? What is my favorite way of expressing myself creatively, and how can I bring more of that into my life? This is my favorite question. I would do this one. How can I honor my sexuality? So great question. Are you honoring your true sexuality and sexual preferences every day? I feel beautiful when, and I feel inspired when. So take a couple of seconds here to journal on one or multiple of these topics. And you can feel free to share in the chat what you are journaling about as well. If you want to share what you are experiencing when you journal. And I'm going to put on some music for one more time. Not doing this one. We can do this one. All right. And if you have any questions, you're also more than welcome to message us at any point in time too.
We are water.
Oh, I didn't even realize the lyrics in this one said that. We are water. Sacral chakra water. Woo-hoo.
Connection. To cleanse our mind.
I'll give everyone about 3 more minutes. Journal to share. I love that everyone's sharing, by the way. Yes, open-minded. No judgment. Very. And I'm gonna change it. It wasn't giving me what I hoped. 4 minutes. Sacral chakra. Wrap up journaling, and we will start to transition into the mantras,
I
affirmation.
have a question about the journaling.
Okay.
What are ways in which you can honor yourself sexually, or honor your sexuality? I don't know. I couldn't come up with it.
So your sexual being, right? So everybody has their way of expressing their sexual energy. So honoring your sexuality can look anything like being your true self every day in terms of like your sexual preference and how you identify, right? So when somebody is, let's say, denying themselves the pleasure of being with the sex or gender that they want to be with because of societal expectations, that's them dishonoring their sexuality. But when you come into your your truest expression of who you are sexually as a sexual being, then you are tapping into your sacral chakra. If you already feel like you are very much confident in your sexuality, like you have that figured out and you are exploring that, then what can you do to tap into your sexual being even more so? Are you seeking partners that fulfill you sexually? Are you fulfilling yourself sexually, right? And that can be with masturbation, that can be with putting on something that makes you feel sexy, that can be anything in terms of like your sexuality and yourself as a sexual being. And ignoring that part of us is what closes this chakra. So good question.
And is it good for my sacral chakra to be sexually active, or is it not good for the chakra?
There's, like we mentioned last week, you can overdo it too, right? So it can be too open in that sense. So when you see people with like sex addiction, that is way too open of the sacral chakra. So there is a healthy balance as well. Does that answer?
Balanced sex is good for the sacral.
Well, everybody should know, right? Like what makes them feel the most empowered sexually. And if you don't know that, then that's the point of this question really, is like, are you honoring yourself as a sexual being by exploring what makes you feel your best in any type of sexual situation, for sure, whether it's with yourself or if it's with a partner. But yes, it can be too open. You can have too much as well. So having balance is important. Does anyone else have any other questions? I loved what everyone was sharing though. I loved the chat. It was a great chat too. And so we're going to get into the mantra and the affirmations for today's chakra. So everyone go ahead and put away your journaling materials, and we are going to do the affirmation and the mantra. So if you're not sure what a mantra is the sound of the chakra to help open and balance that chakra. So the mantra for the sacral chakra is VAM. And we say it the same way that we say Om. Om is another mantra, which we'll get to. It's closer to the end. But VAM is the sound of the sacral chakra, the sound of the universal, the universal sound to open sacral chakra. So everybody, if you feel comfortable, if you are in a safe space where you can repeat the mantra out loud, then I invite you to do it with me. We are not going to do it 7 times. I don't know why it says 7 times. We're going to do it 3 times. And I will cue it with your breath. So first, everyone, go ahead and find a comfortable seat of your choice. You can sit cross-legged. You can sit on a chair, on the couch. Release any tension in the shoulder, the neck, the jaw, and then sit up nice and tall. Belly button to spine, head over heart, heart over pelvis, okay? You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. If their eyes are open, then take a soft gaze. And start by just noticing the breath. So start with long inhales and start with long exhales. You can slow down the breath. And then together, take a long inhale, fill up. And on your exhale, repeat VAM. As you inhale, send your breath to the sacral chakra. Exhale, repeat VAM. Last one, everyone, take a big inhale, send it down low. And then exhale, VAM. Take a second here to notice how you feel, to notice the vibrational energy in your voice and your sound and your body. And then if you had your eyes closed, you can softly open the eyes. And we're going to come into a quick little yoga practice. So you don't even need a yoga mat today. I'm literally on my rug in my living room. You don't need a yoga mat. And go ahead and come just into basic hero's pose. So sit back onto your heels. Sit up nice and tall. Slightly tuck the pelvis under. Sit up tall, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a long inhale, fill up. Long exhale, let go. And then come to tabletop all fours. So your shoulders are over the wrists and your hips are over the knees. And like water, we are going to find some fluid movement here in our cat-cows. So explore with dropping the belly and rounding the back, yes. But I want you to also explore what looking fluid looks like for you. So for me, sometimes I drop an elbow, I drop the other elbow. It's like you're wiggling from side to side, look over one shoulder and then the next. I like calling it making figure eights with my hips. So I roll my hips from one way to the next and then back towards my heels. So really explore movement here. And this is what it means really to feel like you are tapping into the fluidity of this chakra, into the movement and the sensuality. You might feel silly. You might feel like, whoa, I've never moved like this before. And that's totally fine. Just see what it feels like for you today. Wiggle around, get fluid like the sacral chakra, like water. You could imagine yourself almost like a wave. And then once you feel good, go ahead, tuck the toes under, sit back onto the heels, crawl the fingertips out in front of you, rest your forehead slightly on the ground. Inhale, send your breath to your belly, fill up. Exhale, let it out. On your next inhale, come back to tabletop, all fours. And send your right toes behind you long. So point your toes towards the ground to even out your hips. And then on your next breath in, go ahead and step the right foot forward between your hands and come into a low crescent lunge. So here in your low lunge, start getting light on the fingertips by squeezing the inner thighs in. On your inhale, maybe you come up to the top of the knee, or you sweep the fingertips up high. Slightly draw that right hip back, and then you can sink a little bit deeper. We are melting into the hips here. The sacral chakra is all about this love for the hips, where we store so much of our emotions, mainly sadness, mainly feeling distraught. So sink into that, open up the hips. And then place the fingertips back down. Pay attention here. You're going to walk the right foot back slightly so that your hip is over your knee on the back leg and your knee is over the ankle on the front leg. Now lift your back toes up and point them to the right side of the room. You're going to open out to the left side, bringing your right elbow on top of your right knee, and then sweep the fingertips up. This is a variation of extended side angle. You can walk the right toes forward if that feels good to open out in the hip a little bit more. Peek up at me if you're not sure exactly what you need to be doing. And then using your right elbow, open out that right hip. Beautiful. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Send your breath down to that right hip and the left hip flexor. Take 1 more inhale, fill up, and then exhale. Frame the front foot with your hands. You're going to bring the back leg back in line with your knee, and then just simply step back, all fours. Great job. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead, inhale, lift the left heel up high behind you, and then simply step through low lunge, left side. Hug those inner thighs into the midline, and then get light on the fingertips, or you can come up onto the top of the knee here. Draw that left hip crease back slightly so that you can keep your hips in line first, and then you can sink a little lower, really tap into that energy that we store all tight in the hips. And then bring your right hand to the ground, lift your right toes, and point them over to the left side of the room. Drop the right foot, and then open out to the right side. So your left elbow is pressing out onto that left knee to really open out through the hips. And as you inhale, sweep the fingertips up. Oh, I just realized I have my screen share on. You probably can't see me that well. I'm sorry. Let me spotlight my video here. Okay. So we are in our variation of an extended side angle. And then really pressing into the left knee with the left elbow. Your right bicep comes up to your right ear. And then everyone go ahead and use your right hand, hold on to your left set of ribs, and rotate open over to the right side of the room even more gorgeously here for one more breath in. And then exhale, release the fingertips to frame the front foot. You rotate the back leg back and then step back simply to your all fours. Curl the toes under and send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So we won't be here for too long. Just let the downward facing dog do its job. And that just means to reverse the flow of blood, allowing it to draw upwards instead of downwards, pedal out the feet, again, being as fluid as water. And then take a peek between your hands and you can step, jump, or hop through to laying on your back. So you can take a hop or jump through. And actually, right before we get to our back, let's take a regular Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet to touch, butterfly pose. Slightly draw your feet in, or you can keep them out, whatever feels good here. But we're gonna give ourselves a little foot massage. So everyone grab the inside arches of your feet. This is self-care, this is sensuality, this is all of it in one. Give yourself a little foot massage here in your Baddha Konasana because you deserve it. Use your thumbs to massage out the inner arches of the feet. And then you can bring your soles of the feet to touch again. Hands out behind you, tuck the tailbone under, and then maybe come onto the elbows, and then finally all the way onto your back. Left hand comes over your heart, right hand comes over the belly in Supta Baddha Konasana. And allow gravity to do the work here. If your hips are tight, you might hate me today. I'm sorry, but we gotta do it. We gotta do the work. So feel your breath, breathe into your palms. Take your long inhales and your even longer exhales. And then allow your knees to drop closer to the mat or to the carpet or the floor. And take one more full body breath. Breathe in. And then big breath out, release. Now this is one of the sillier poses, happy baby, but it's so good for the hips. So everyone grab the outside edges of your feet and then kick into your hands, drawing your knees closer to your armpits. And you're literally like a happy baby. So rock side to side. This pose gets both the hips, the pelvis, but also your low back. I love to extend one leg and then the next, just sort of feeling that small amount of release in the low back. It's like a little self massage. So play around in your happy baby for a little bit here. And then when you're ready, we're gonna bring our legs to tabletop. So knees are gonna come over the hips. And now you're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee like a figure 4. So your legs are making like a number 4. You can keep this leg bent or you can straighten it for a deeper stretch, up to you. You're going to clasp your hands behind the left thigh and then start to draw that left thigh closer to your belly. So your ankle is getting closer to your chest. And then breathe deeply into that right hip crease, the left glute. Just allow yourself really to get into it here. And if you have super open hips, you can also go ahead and like scoop under your right leg and release that left leg out in front of you. So it's like you're in half pigeon, but you're laying down. So you have options, right? You could stop here. You can extend, or you can scoop-de-doop it and then extend the leg. And then breathe, because that's the point here. Take 2 more breaths in your variation. 1 more long inhale. And then release, come back to tabletop. Knees are stacked over the hips. Press the low back into the ground. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So cross the left ankle over the right knee. And then clasp behind the right thigh. I like to use my left elbow here to open out the left knee a little bit more, just because I'm crazy and I like really deep hip stretches. You can straighten the leg, like I said, or you can do the scoop-de-doop-de under this side. There's probably a more yogi name for that, but I'm going to continue calling it the scoop-de-doop-de. So extend your right leg out long this time if you are taking this variation. And then stay active in the feet. So no matter what variation you are taking today, I want you to stay active in your feet. And then breathe into that left hip crease. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more big breath in. 1 more big breath out. And then come back to the tabletop position, whatever variation of your choice. Bring your hands to your kneecaps and circle them one way. And then circle the other way, massage out that low back. Give yourself a big hug, because this one is all about self-love. So flex the feet, hug it in tight, 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 tight. And then release it all out. Extend both legs out long, hands out to the side, and land in your Shavasana. So in your Shavasana, we are going to settle in to the breath. And settle in to this moment with our bodies, our minds, our spirits. So close your eyes, and again, you soften the jaw, soften the space around your heart. Soften the space between your eyebrows. And then go ahead and begin to envision a glowing ball of orange just around where we were working in the pelvis and the hips, the sacral chakra. So as you begin to imagine this glowing ball of energy, you use your breath to nourish it, to nurture it. You use your long inhales and your even longer exhales to allow it to glow bright. And then it slowly begins to expand. It slowly begins to take over your entire body. And then maybe it takes up the entire room, the entire general vicinity around you, glowing with orange, with passion, with sensuality, creativity, and with desire. And then maybe you softly whisper to yourself this affirmation: I feel inspired and joyful. I am flowing with creative ideas. I nurture myself and others. And I invite you, if during the sound therapy session you feel like you are wandering in your thoughts and your intentions, to come back to right now by using your breath, allowing your breath to guide you back into this safe space in your heart and your mind, and allow yourself and give yourself permission to be. Everybody take a long inhale and a longer exhale, release. Begin to invite small movements back into the body by wiggling your fingers or your toes. You can rotate the ankles or the wrists, nod your head from side to side. And then go ahead and take a full body stretch, reach up and overhead. You can curl into a fetal position onto your side before gently pressing up into seated, cross-legged, facing us. And then bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra at the chest. Lifting your sternum to your thumbs, pressing your thumbs into your sternum. Softly tuck the chin towards the chest, lengthen through the back of the neck. And we'll seal the practice, the meditation, the workshop with a shared breath. So I'll cue it. Everybody take a long inhale. And exhale. Bring your thumb knuckles up to your third eye center. And together we bow to acknowledge each other and say namaste. Namaste, everybody. Welcome back to the chat, to the workshop, to the end of the workshop. I hope that everybody discovered something new possibly today about themselves, about the sacral chakra, and how you can improve in it in your life every day. I know this is a chakra that I always want to be working on, and I know that this is something that everyone should work on too. So I will put the check-in link one more time in the chat just in case anybody missed. Oh, I haven't sent that to Carla. I'm going to put it in the chat in case anybody missed it. But thank you so much